put your name in?
I did.
Thank you.
Am I up?
Oh, yeah.
Do I need these?
Colleen Kennedy.
Oh, yeah.
We need to mix it up here. Yeah, there you go. And number 3, Brett Tobin. All right. Coach Onstott, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me, Scott.
Oh, I wouldn't have missed this. Just wish we could have you and my dad on together.
I would enjoy that. I'd look forward to that.
So, state meet, home pool. What's obviously it happens every other year. Is there a different feeling going in when it's you're going to be hosting?
Well, there's a different feeling for me because there's a lot involved in hosting.
Yeah, right.
But I think for the guys, probably not. All we need is 25 yards of water. We're good to go.
And Evanston's in conference, pretty familiar with the surroundings there anyway.
Yeah, either place is good with us.
So I have to ask you. It looks like you told the kids to be lying in the weeds after the sectional meet because, again, sectional results really don't mean anything. But there's been plenty of years where you're up at the top all over the place. So was that a part of a strategy this year?
Not really. We just, the situation at our sectional was not as competitive as we would preferred it to be.
Yeah.
You really had very few folks other than new tour guys getting out. You had several Evanston guys swim really well.
Yeah.
So they got out a couple relays and some swimmers. But I'm not sure that anybody besides a new tour guy and an Evanston guy got out.
Right.
So, that's just a whole different thing. You're in a pool that's not the fastest in the world, and there's not a lot of competition, not a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm.
If you're at probably one of the other sectional sites and
a little more crowd energy to feed off.
Well, you've got other people qualifying.
Sure.
The most noise was made on Saturday when Evanston got 2 backstrokers in, and they got their 400 free relay in. I think with us it's a little more expected. We're going to have kids in, and they were really working hard to get those kids in. They did a great job. They got them in. That's when the excitement. If you have that rolling through the whole meet, it helps.
The adrenaline.
It helps us.
Yeah.
But we got done what we needed to get done.
Absolutely.
So we're going to be one of the schools moving to a faster pool, and we expect it's going to be a good weekend.
Now, talk about the challenges of being a coach at a program like New Trier. Obviously, the coaching all the talent's great, but that makes those decisions hard at the end of the year. I mean, not many people have those tough decisions. What are the sort of things throughout the year? There are markers that you look at when kids are competing for spots?
Well, we're looking at everything. I told the guys the first morning practice, I said, we're looking at consistency. We're looking at people who are doing it when it maybe doesn't matter. We're expecting people to be racing all the time. I think we got great performances out of people at kind of unusual times. And, but it is a difficult situation. When you have kids who could be at the state meet and could be scoring at the state meet. And I have to really commend the kids and their motivation and their hard work. It'd be real easy to say I'm number 5 or 6 in the 100 butterfly and really not take it as seriously, but they don't. We have a large varsity squad. Yeah. We had, I think, 27, 28 kids this year. I know a lot of programs that they run 12, 15 kids. And, we also have a large JV, about 35, 37 kids. And so, we're doing everything we can for every kid. And, there's easier ways to do it, and there's easier ways to win state championships, but we try to be, we try to do the best we can for everybody.
What's practice like on a daily basis with so many talented kids, going at it, trying to compete when they're sprinting or even in just a interval type set?
Well, sometimes it gets real interesting. It really does. And other times, you know, you wonder who's going to light a fire under who. But, you know, there's a lot of competition. Obviously, you've got C.J. Smith in the distance lane, and we kind of rotate guys in there with C.J. He's the distance guy.
Yeah.
You know, Reed Malone is swimming distance and IM, so he rotates in and out. We throw Nick over there every once in a while, just keep him on his toes, and you know, it's an interesting situation as we go through practices.
It's so hard to think of something that really stands out because there is so much talent across the board. Was there maybe a newcomer to the sectional state lineup that this year for you stood out and you're like, that kid really made a move over this offseason?
Well, I think, you know, there's probably, I'm trying to think now, I'll probably forget somebody. There's at least 3 guys who are new.
I think of Mangan off the bat in the backstroke.
Well, Mangan definitely. Last year, at the end of the year, I think at varsity conference, he was shaved and tapered, won a 53.7 or 8 maybe, which was a great swim.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Dan Whitcomb, who last year at conference won the conference meet, was shaved and tapered, set a conference record actually. So, you know, he kind of had that breakthrough and has just had a great year as well. And then Reed Malone, who, you know, got injured in a bus accident. He was actually just getting off the bus, but he got injured stepping off the bus as we were recalibrating putting our varsity on one team and our JV on the other team at getting ready to go to a dual meet. And so he lost 4 weeks of training, lost the end of his high school season, swam for, I think, 3 or 4 weeks, and then had just lights out swims. You know, so we're really excited about what he can do, and of course what he's done this year, but you know, he's only going to get better this weekend.
I think something interesting, correct me if I'm wrong, you have to apply to be a captain at New Trier.
Well, we like the kids to basically say, I want to be a captain. So I don't like the term apply, but they have to notify me and say, I want to be a captain.
And I mean, obviously, is that something that they totally do on their own? As a coach, do you say, you know, you need to be one of the leaders on this team to any kid, so you need to apply? Or,
you know, we have this year we only had 13 seniors, or was it 14? Maybe 14. So that's probably as low a number as we've had in I don't know how long. Next year, I think we have 20, 21, 22 who will be seniors. So, you know, we have some other requirements as well. You know, they have to have won an award, not a varsity award, but an award, which means they have to have been at 90% of practices. So there's a commitment level there. And then I sit down and interview them. So there's commitment there. And then the guys get to give their input in the form of a vote. And we take that into consideration as we put together who we think can do that.
Yeah, I think that's really cool and interesting because obviously at a program like New Trier, you know, there should be a standard. You know, with the interview and everything. I don't know of any other program that does that.
Actually, I got the idea from Woodbury, so
Well,
that's the only idea I've gotten from him. But that's not true.
Did he show up for his free food?
He shows up whenever there is free food. Yes, so that's a good deal.
I interviewed Max Rodecki at the New Trier Relays, and I asked him if the way last season's state meet played out was a motivation for this team, and he said not really. I mean, is that true? Is that not discussed at all?
You know, I don't think we talked about it. It was probably mentioned that first morning, and I don't think it's really specifically been talked about. I think for a lot of the guys, they think about that. So I think it's on the minds of some of the guys that really wasn't the way they wanted to end that season. Max had such an outstanding state meet that, he's still floating around about that. So, and I think it affects guys different, so some guys were probably really upset and, some guys were looking at it, differently. So, and we, this is a whole different, it's a lot of the same guys, but it's different. So, they don't have to carry that on their back, and what they need to focus on is coming in Friday and getting the job done and finishing it out Saturday.
Talk a little bit about your seniors. We talked about C.J. Smith during the year. You told me he's been such a great leader. Conrad Valmoki's been on your state relays, I think, since he was a freshman. What have those guys meant to the team?
Well, you have CJ, you have Matt Gagne, and you have Conrad, you have Matt Staub, as guys who have been in the mix with the state meet, for a while. And they do a good job. They know what's going on. I think those guys, out of everybody, those guys have that feeling that there's some undone business.
Sense of urgency.
That they realize that you've got to come in and get the job done, and and there's that stuff in practice. And CJ's one who's always talking, so he has no trouble at all, paying attention to what other people are doing to make sure they're getting the job done. Matt's a little quieter. Conrad has kind of elected himself morale chief, so his leadership goes a little different direction. But all those things are helpful. All those things are good, and when you have that kind of experience going in to the state meet, it's good. It's very comforting from the coaching standpoint that the guys who are new are going to be sitting next to, or they're going to be in the midst of guys who know what's going on and know where to go and know what to do.
Absolutely. Well, I know you know what to do this weekend, and you'll have them ready. Good luck. Thank you for joining us. I know you have a lot of responsibilities hosting the meet this week.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to New Trier and reseed the whole thing. So we do appreciate, though, I know the guys talk about it, our coaching staff, we do appreciate what you're doing with Illinois Prep, and I think it's a great thing, and I'm glad you're here where we can get some Buffalo Wild Wings too. So.
Absolutely.
Right.
Eat up. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach Mark Onstott.